Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to be doing a mood reading vlog. Over the past week, I've kind of just filmed myself reading whatever I'm in the mood for. I was able to finish 3 books over the past week and I started 2 more. So I actually had a pretty great reading week in terms of how much I read. Quality-wise, there were some mixed opinions throughout, but I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Let me know if you've read any of these books in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and let's get right into the actual reading. Hello everybody and happy Tuesday. It is Tuesday evening and I want to kind of give some updates on where I'm starting this video at. I'm doing sort of a mood read in a week with me where I'm kind of just reading whatever I feel like. I'm feeling a little bit, not slumpy, maybe a little bit actually. Currently, I'm in the middle of Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez, which here's the cover. I have read 3 other books by Abby Jimenez. I have read Life's Too Short, which was okay. And then I read Yours Truly, which I liked in the beginning, but I remember not liking the ending. And I read Just for the Summer last year when it came out and I absolutely loved it. When I saw this, I was very, very excited. But I feel like as soon as the arcs started kind of going out, I started seeing some more mixed reviews. So I was a little bit skeptical. And I just don't know exactly how I'm feeling so far. I am 175 pages in. I think I started the day around 110. So I read around 60 pages, but I just don't really feel like a connection or a draw to the characters. I will say it also feels like it started out very quick. Like very early on, they were like asking out on a date, which I get that's like the point of a romance, but I just think that I wanted a little bit more slow burn and yearning maybe perhaps. And then there were some references to Rhysand in this from ACOTAR, and like pretty early on in the book they like mentioned Rhysand a couple times and I was like, okay. But I just don't know exactly how I'm feeling. This is definitely more of a heavier emotional romance in terms of things that the characters are going through. We follow our main character Samantha and Xavier. Xavier is a vet and he owns his own clinic. That's how they meet. And Samantha, her mom, has dementia, but she is very young to have dementia. I think she's like 50 something in this book. And so you're kind of just seeing Samantha dealing with her family and navigating having a parent with dementia. Honestly, I have no idea where this is gonna go. I am kind of a little bit upset at myself because I did accidentally click on a spoiler for this, so I did see something about what happens at the end. I just don't know so far, and I don't know if it's like I've seen other people say like I'm not loving this, that I'm like, okay, maybe I'm not loving it. But it is, of course, I think Abby Jimenez's writing is so easy to read, and just I feel like the first day I picked this up I read 70 pages like that. Like it genuinely felt like here to there. It felt very fast. I just think her writing is very easy. It's very just light. So I'm not sure. We will see how I feel about this. I am hoping to finish it this week. I think there's around 350 pages, so we'll see. Then as for my audiobook, I'm back on my audiobook grind. No thanks to Done and Dusted. Or no, Lost and Lassoed. But I am currently listening to Summer in the City. Hello? Summer in the City by Alex Astor. This is my first ever book from her. It follows our main character, Elle, and Parker. Parker is a billionaire. He's like a CEO of a big tech company. And Elle is a screenwriter. She is anonymous. They have like a meeting years ago. They meet later on, a couple years down the road, and she doesn't like him. But they are basically neighbors now in and of a sense. And they have a kind of agreement where they are going to fake date for a summer, for him for publicity, her for she needs some inspiration for a play or a screenplay that she's writing. That's the main premise. It takes place in New York City, so I'm liking that aspect. I always love a good New York City setting. I know this is a little bit different from her normal genre that she writes. I know she normally writes like fantasy romance. This is just a contemporary romance, kind of like rom-com-y. So far, I'm having a good time. It's pretty entertaining. I only have an hour and 48 minutes left and I'm listening to it on 2 times the speed, so I really don't have that much left. I think I have 1 Audible credit left. I canceled my Audible subscription because I get most of my audiobooks through the library, but I have 1 credit left from before I canceled my subscription, and I think I'm going to get the audiobook of Wildside by Elsie Silver because I honestly just can't see myself picking that up physically. So we'll see. And I just really want to get through that stack of books. So not sure where we'll go next. It is April 8th. And today, Fearless came out by Lauren Roberts. This got delivered in the mail. I had it pre-ordered. This is honestly a lot thicker than I was expecting. Like, she's pretty thick. My opinion on the Powerless trilogy is I didn't really care for Powerless when I read it. I then listened to Powerful and it was just fine. And then I listened to Reckless and I actually kind of liked it. I know that's a kind of unpopular opinion because I know a lot of people didn't enjoy that one. We'll see. I kind of want to get to this week sometime. I will see you guys tomorrow. Hi everybody, it is Wednesday afternoon, it's 4:27, and I don't really have that many updates in terms of what I've been reading physically. I haven't read any more, I don't think, of Say You'll Remember Me. I just feel like I'm honestly not gravitating to pick this up. I'm really going to try to read more tonight and then finish it maybe tomorrow or Friday. We'll see, I'm not too sure. I do have some updates in terms of my audiobook listening. I was actually able to finish listening to Summer in the City. It could have been a really fun summer romance, and it is to an extent, but I think sometimes I just didn't really like the main female character. I just think that sometimes she was very, very money oriented and very prideful, and I get that that was the whole point because it talked about, you know, her history and kind of how that has affected her and played into how she is. But at the same time, I just feel like our main male character was really understanding, and sometimes she was still sort of like rude to him about certain things. And like this one thing happened at the end that I know I saw a lot of other people were angry about on Goodreads, but I think I would give that a like 3.5. 3.5 I think is fair. It was entertaining, but not anything amazing. So I actually started listening to Wild Side by Elsie Silver. I do have the physical copy as well. I am 2 hours and 34 minutes into it, and I am listening to it on 2x speed. So I'm on chapter 11. So physically, I'm probably around page like 93-ish. I have 4 hours and 51 minutes left. I'm gonna be really, really honest with you. I don't like the sister. I feel like the sister was shady. And I don't know if I like Reese either. He's low-key kind of getting on my nerves. But I like Tabitha, I think. I don't think that I'm gonna rate this very highly just because I'm really annoyed at some of these characters. Like, why are you acting like that? I don't know, but we'll see. And hopefully try to read a little bit more tonight and get more through this. So we'll see. That is my only update for now. I will see you guys either tonight or tomorrow. I just read a little bit more, maybe like 10 pages of Say You'll Remember Me, and I honestly am really curious to see where this is going to go. I am honestly, because right now the characters are long distance and it's just not practical to keep going about this. So I'm really interested to see kind of where she takes it and where it goes. I know one thing that I know two big things that happen at the end because I did see a spoiler. Neither of those answer that question of like where this is gonna go. It was definitely a little insta-lovey, which I think is the one thing that kind of caught me off guard. I'm gonna try to read a little bit more. I'm on page 182, so we'll see how far I get, if I even read any more, we'll see. Happy Thursday. It is like Thursday afternoon, almost evening. Some reading updates for both of these. So I am listening to Wild Side by Elsie Silver, and I wasn't sure if I was gonna like it, but honestly, I am really enjoying this. I just feel like there's really good tension and banter between the couple, and I just am enjoying getting to see how things are progressing, and I'm interested to see how things continue. I'm just enjoying it. Around page 200 physically, but I'm on chapter 23, so I am pretty far into the audiobook. I am 5 hours and 36 minutes in, and I have 3 hours and 20 minutes left. So making pretty good progress on that. I'm hoping to finish it this weekend, probably Saturday, maybe tomorrow, we'll see. And I read a little bit more of Say You'll Remember Me. I'm on page 276. There are 350 pages, so I kind of want to try to finish it. Honestly, I'm gonna hold your hand when I say this, but I just feel like when I'm reading this, I am enjoying it. I just feel like the other part, like when I'm not reading it, I just really don't have a draw to pick it up. And I also just feel kind of meh about it when I'm not reading it. It just feels like one bad thing after another is happening. Not necessarily in the relationship. I feel like they're pretty strong in their relationship through everything that's going on, but it just feels like external things to the relationship are happening a lot. And something that I saw a spoiler about, I was like bracing myself for it to happen, but it finally happened, and it happened so much more abrupt than what I was expecting. It really just happened out of nowhere, and I was like, oh, it literally just dropped out of nowhere. I only have like 70 pages left, and I genuinely just don't know how I'm feeling. So I want to try to finish it right now. I don't know how much time I have until I'm gonna make dinner, so I will try to read as much as I can right now. Something just happened. I'm on page 314, and something just happened, and I'm honestly like, I literally gasped. Not that it's even that big of a deal of what happened, but genuinely it just feels like she's making one bad thing after another happen, and when will it end? Honestly, it just feels like so excessive to the point where it's like, why? Like, it's too excessive. I don't know how I'm feeling about this. I'm feeling very kind of, I don't know. I just finished Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I still think I need some time to kind of think about my thoughts on this and kind of deduce why I just feel meh about it, because I think that Abby's writing was like her stereotypical, very fun, like very easy, funny rom-com, but still very emotionally driven. But I just don't know why I didn't love this more. So I want to think about that. But for now, I finished this. Hi everybody and happy Friday. It is Friday afternoon and I have a few reading updates, and I also just wanted to give my overall thoughts on Say You'll Remember Me. So let me start out with where I'm at reading wise. I have been listening a lot to the audiobook of Wild Side by Elsie Silver. I am on chapter 31 and I have 2 hours and 10 minutes left on 2x speed, and I'm hoping to finish it today. I'm gonna go on a really long walk, so I'm hoping that within that time I can maybe finish it. Physically, that is around page 280. So I'm making pretty good progress. This is like how much I have left. So not bad. And I honestly am really enjoying the story. I just really like the kind of flirty banter between Reese and Tabby. And also I don't mind, I'm not like crazy about the whole like wrestler aspect, especially because it is like the equivalent of WWE, which is just it's just a little quirky, but I just really am enjoying. I think it will probably be around a 4-star, I'm predicting. And then as for Fearless, I have only read the prologue, which is like maybe like a page or two. I am only on chapter 1, so I really don't have anything to say about this yet. I honestly just think, I feel like this is really thick, and I know it's really not. I've read books that are thicker than this, but for some reason, it's kind of intimidating to me. Let's get into my overall thoughts on Abby Jimenez's Say You'll Remember Me. I feel like I picked this up and I was really excited. Abby's writing is just so simple and very easy. It's very bingeable. It's mostly pretty funny. However, I was pretty shocked at how quickly they kind of got together. This was very, very insta-lovey. They're basically together from like page 20 on, genuinely. That's pretty quick. Personally, I like a little bit more buildup and a little bit more tension and a little bit more yearning, a little bit more slow burn than what this was. This was very insta-lovey. And I just think that a lot of this book is, I've seen a lot of people say trauma dumping, where the characters are just going back and forth, like trauma dumping to each other. And I do agree to a certain extent. I think a lot of this book, the characters have gone through things and are currently going through things that are very difficult, and they really focus a lot on that. I also would say that most of this book, they're in a long distance relationship. They're really not together like physically. They're, you know, you see their trips and like their visits to each other, but a lot of it, they're long distance, which I don't think is advertised at all. I think if it was, I feel like that could be a kind of added appeal to this book for people that are going through a long distance relationship and they want to kind of read a book about it, or maybe they don't want to read a book about it as like a form of escape. I just think that they got together very fast. There was a lot of talk about the things they're going through, which of course it is a major plot point of this, so that is understandable. But I think I saw someone say that this felt pretty choppy, and I am inclined to agree. There are a lot of jumps in this book where you'll end a chapter and all of a sudden it's like 3 months later or 3 weeks later, not even like advertised at the top, you know, says like underneath the chapter before it actually starts, like 1 week later. It literally just is like they're talking and it's like, it's been a week or it's been 3 weeks. And it's like, oh, and then really randomly at the end, there was one of those like 3 months later, but at the beginning of the chapter, which just felt a little awkward to me because you've been doing all these time jumps throughout the whole book. So why are you now including the 3 months later? I don't know. It just was very, very back and forth time jumping. I feel like, honestly, they were a little bit codependent on each other. Personally, as somebody that has been through a long distance relationship for 2.5 to 3 years of doing it, I really think that when you're in a long distance relationship, you need to find your happiness outside of your partner, because if you don't, you're just miserable all the time then. And these characters, it felt like, didn't find any happiness outside of their relationship. It felt very sudden, very fast, and all of a sudden, all of their happiness is dependent on this one person. So I just feel like reading it is like, these characters need to go through some growth maybe, and not put so much of their whole happiness and their whole life in their relationship. Not to say that that's a bad thing to do. Your life can be really involved and kind of surround your relationship, but I think it is really important to have that form of happiness and something to look forward to outside of your relationship. If you know what I mean, if that makes sense, as someone that has gone through it. So there are also a lot of social media references and very like TikTok phrases. She is a social media manager. And think, what brands act like this? Is it Wendy's? I don't know. Where it's like the brand is like very like sarcastic on their social media. That was her. And sometimes it made me cringe a little bit because it was about mustard. It was just kind of giving like 2020-ish vibes on like the whole like comedy style. So I didn't love that aspect, but normally I don't mind like social media references in books. I don't really care about it too much. In this book, there were some references to Rhysand from ACOTAR, and maybe it did take me out just a hair, just a little bit. But if that bothers you, you might not like this. It really just felt like a lot of this stuff was just like one after the other, after the other, after the other. Like it almost felt intentional, like these characters couldn't have a lick of happiness. Like even when something good might have happened, something bad happens. So it just felt a little extreme in that sense. I think I'm going to give this maybe like a 3.5, just because when I was reading it, I liked it. It was very easy, very fast. But when I wasn't reading it, I didn't really want to pick it up. I read this over the span of 5 days and it felt like an eternity. It felt very long. So I just don't think that this is my favorite Abby Jimenez book. I just wish I would have liked this a little bit more. I feel like I see really split reviews. A lot of people are rating it like 5 and 4 stars, and then some people are like rating it like 2. That is my overall review on Say Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I want to read Fearless for a little bit, and then I will probably go on a walk and hopefully finish Wildside. Hi everybody, I have a few updates. It is a couple hours later. I walked like 4.25 miles. So I had a lot of time to listen to my audiobook, and I actually just finished Wildside by Elsie Silver. And honestly, I'm gonna be really honest with you, I think I might give this like a 4.5. I really enjoyed this. I thought that at first I was a little nervous because I saw someone rate this like a 3, and not that 3 is bad, but I didn't really like Wild Love and I liked Wild Eyes. You know, I was a little nervous, but I wasn't sure if I was gonna like the male main character narrator, because his voice is really low and sometimes I think that's a little bit cringy. But I ended up really enjoying this. I just really liked the fake marriage kind of situation, and there was a lot of just like flirting and tension, and I just really enjoyed it. I thought it was very fun. Some people might not like the wrestler aspect, but I didn't really mind. And honestly, I always get a little bit nervous about like a third act conflict, because in Wild Eyes I actually really didn't like the third act conflict in that, but in this one I really didn't mind it. It wasn't like a breakup, which I just don't like when there's a breakup. But I really enjoyed it, and I very surprised by this one. Liked it a lot. I cannot wait for Wildcard. Very excited about that one. But I also read some pages of The Great Alone by Kirsten Hinn. I know this is really random. I haven't talked at all about this, but this is the book that I am buddy reading with my mom now, and we basically read a couple chapters a week, sometimes more. I just hadn't really been in the mood to pick it up, and I hadn't really had the time. So I sat down and I was like, okay, let me read some pages of this. So I think I was around page 15. I was on chapter 2, which is page 14, and now I'm on page 44. So I read around 30 pages of this. Basically is about this, mostly focuses, I believe, on our main female character, Lenny, and her mom, Cora. And basically, Cora's husband and Lenny's dad is a Vietnam War veteran. This takes place during 1974. And ever since he came back from the war, he's really not the same. He's dealing with a lot, obviously. And so they're constantly on this kind of journey to hopefully find something better, something new. And they basically get this opportunity to kind of inherit this land in Alaska, and they basically, I believe, just focuses on Lenny and her mom and how they kind of have to step up in this role and in this situation that they are in to basically survive the winter. Where I'm at now, they just got there, so I'm honestly really nervous. Not about like if I'll like it or not, but I'm just nervous for the characters. It seems like a very bad situation, honestly, but that is that. And then I did read like a couple pages of this. I got to page 18. So I'm honestly just not sure. I read the physical book of Powerless, and I really wasn't sure how I felt about it. I'm not sure if it was just because it's really hyped up, or I'm not sure if it's just because I really wasn't in the mood. I don't know. But I listened to the audiobook of Reckless, and I actually kind of liked it. I'm reading this now, and I just don't know if I'm in love with her writing style right now. I don't know. I think it worked better for me as an audiobook. So I'm just a little nervous going into this, and if I will like the writing style throughout. I'm gonna try, of course, but we'll see. For the foreseeable future, maybe for like another hour-ish, half an hour, I'm not sure, I'm going to read Fearless and hopefully get a little bit more through that, and we'll see. I'm not too sure, but I will see you guys later. I'm on page 30, and I'm gonna be so honest with you. I have absolutely no idea who half of the people are. Ellie, Callum. I'm like, who are these people? I'm kind of just gonna keep reading, and hopefully that the context clues aid me along the way. And they're also talking about things happening, like someone asking like, oh, why did this happen? And I'm genuinely reading this and I'm like, I don't know, why did that happen? I genuinely have no clue. I don't remember a lot. The only thing I remember is the one specific thing that happens at the end. of Reckless. The rest I don't remember. So this is gonna be really interesting for me. Good morning. It is Saturday morning and I read a little bit this morning. I got around 20 more pages into Fearless. So I'm on page 50 and I am going to try to do some more reading this morning. Might stop at Barnes. I have to go into town, so maybe we'll stop at Barnes. Not sure if I play my cards right. We'll see. I'll see you guys later. Bye.